Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our second annual Meet the Candidates Night. Before we begin, I would like everyone to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. My name is Beth Pasner, and I am the president of the North Brunswick Township Education Association. The North Brunswick Township Education Association is the union that represents our teachers and ESPs, including the district's aides, bus drivers, custodians, computer technicians, and secretaries and clerks who care for the children of North Brunswick. There are currently over 900 members in the NBTEA. We are thrilled to be hosting our second annual Meet the Candidates Night for North Brunswick Township Board of Education. We are able to sponsor this event through a Pride in Education grant from the NGEA. Through NJEA Pride and Fast, we are also able to sponsor many other events throughout the school year, including events like Touch a Truck Night, Health and Wellness Nights, Read Across America events, Math and Science events, and many others. Through grants, we recently gave out 100 backpacks to our students at National Night Out. We hope that you are able to join us at our future events. I would like to thank the North Brunswick Township School System for allowing us to use the auditorium here tonight at NBTMS for this event, and for the computer technicians here tonight broadcasting it to the public. This event will be saved on the district's YouTube channel for anyone who is not able to attend or watch it tonight. For North Brunswick Township Board of Education, there are 4 candidates running for 3 open seats. The 4 candidates in alphabetical order are Mr. Jonathan Bizzell, Ms. Alicia James, Mr. Richard Ligori, and Ms. Haley Toth. In our schools, we strive to teach our students about the importance of active citizenship and being engaged in the political process. With 4 candidates vying for 3 Board of Ed positions, we hope that this event helps the citizens of North Brunswick make the best educated decisions that they can in the upcoming election. I would now like to introduce our moderator for the evening, NBTHS Social Studies teacher, Elisa DePasquale.
Thank you. Thank you, folks. Good evening. As Ms. Pasner said, I'm Ms. DePasquale, and I am a social studies teacher at North Brunswick Township High School. And tonight, I'll be serving as your moderator. I'll explain the rules, and then we will get started. The order of events is as followed. Each candidate will be given 1 minute to introduce themselves. After that, each candidate will be given 2 minutes to answer each of the 6 questions of the evening. Each candidate was given the questions in advance of tonight's event. After the questions, each candidate will have 1 minute each to make a closing statement. As moderator, I will keep and monitor the time. I will inform the candidates when their time is up. Please note, tonight is not a debate. Each candidate will have their time, and there will be no opportunity for rebuttal. Prior to tonight's event, candidates were selected at random so that each candidate would go first at least once. Candidates are sitting in alphabetical order. We'll get started now with introductions. Each candidate now will have 1 minute to introduce themselves. We will start with Mr. Beliz. Mr. Beliz, you have 1 minute to introduce yourself.
Mr. Bizzell?
Oh, Bizzell, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry, I didn't understand. Thank you. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the Teachers Association for this opportunity. My name is Jonathan Bizzell. I've been married for 14 years. I have 2 daughters and 1 granddaughter. We've lived in North Brunswick for about 10 years. I've been an assistant principal at a high school in Middlesex County for the last 6 years. I decided to chase my dream of being a teacher and a coach at Piscataway High School when my mother fell ill on March 17, 1997. I no longer reported to my employment at the Department of Labor. I took this opportunity to take the alternate route to be a teacher in New Jersey, which means my graduate degree is not in education, it is in business management. I also have a Master of Arts in Educational Leadership, and I also have completed a third of my doctoral program in educational leadership as well. And this is a wonderful opportunity to give back to the community, and I'm looking forward to it every opportunity possible. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. James, you now have 1 minute to introduce yourself.
Good evening, all. My name is Alicia James, and I am presently seated as a board member. I've had the pleasure of being seated since January of 2021 and look forward to continuing the important work that we've all started together. In my full-time role, I am the Assistant General Counsel for one of the larger school districts in New Jersey, where I represent, defend, counsel, and prosecute cases on behalf of my client, the Board of Education. Additionally, I regularly deal with negotiations, education law, and special education law matters, labor concerns, litigation, employment law concerns, and I also serve as an instructor for the New Jersey Child Welfare Partnership, which is a partnership with Rutgers and Stockton, where I deliver professional development for our state agency caseworkers with DCP&P. Beyond work, I'm a lifelong learner who has a passion for reading, writing, when time permits. I'm a former poet, and I enjoy all things Peloton and fitness, plants, health, and wellness, my two amazing nieces, family, friends, traveling, and an occasional hike. I've been a resident in North Brunswick since 2001, and I look forward to continuing my tenure as a board member.
Okay, great. Thank you. Mr. Liguori.
Good evening, and thank you to the NBTEA for sponsoring this evening's event. My name is Rich Liguori, and I'm a lifelong 50-year resident of North Brunswick. I graduated from Judd Elementary, Linwood Middle School, and I am a 1990 graduate of NBTHS. I married my high school sweetheart, Monique, a high school English teacher at South Brunswick High School, and together we have 3 children. Matthew is 22, and he's completing his master's degree in education at Rutgers. Andrew is 17, he's a senior at NBTHS, and Nathaniel is 14, he's a freshman at NBTHS. I have a BS in finance from Rutgers and an MBA from Rider. I'm currently a senior compensation analyst at Dow Jones in Monmouth Junction. I've been an elected member of the Township's Board of Education from 2007 to 2015, and again from 2018 to the present. I've been elected by my peers as both president and vice president several times during my tenure on the board, and I have chaired and served on all our committees. I'm also vice president of our township's soccer club, overseeing its fall and spring recreational programs. I'm also active at Our Lady of Peace Church, serving as a cantor, choir member, and lector, while also sitting on the Finance Committee and Parish Council. I serve as treasurer of the Township's Historical Society, co-chairing their gala fundraisers every 5 years, and I am a former member of the Township's Zoning Board. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Ms. Toth.
Good evening, community members. My name is Haley Toth, and I've been a resident of North Brunswick Township for the last 29 years. I've been a member of the Board of Education for a little over 3 years now. I filled a vacancy for an unexpired term back in June of 2021, and then I ran for my own 3-year term in November of 2020. I have chaired the Community Relations Committee as well as the Human Resources Committees until becoming the current vice president of the board. I've participated on the Negotiation Committee as well as the Education, Student Services, Business Operations, and Curriculum Committees. I'm a class of 2012 graduate of the North Brunswick Township High School. I also attended John Adams Elementary School, as well as the previous Linwood Middle School. Post-public school years, I furthered my education at the University of Rhode Island, majoring in communication studies. I'm currently employed by Job.com, a staffing and talent acquisition company, as an account manager, and I focus on business development as well as sales. I look forward to having you all get to know me as the night progresses.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, now we're going to move on to the question and answer part of the event. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer the question. I will repeat the question prior to each candidate's turn. Mr. Liguori, we're going to start with you. So, as an incumbent, what experience or training in education do you have that makes you qualified to run for a position on the Board of Education?
I think it is important to note that anyone with any background who is a township resident of legal voting age can run for the Board of Education. Over my years on our Board of Education, I have worked with people of varying backgrounds, and we have come together collaboratively, learning from each other's strengths and weaknesses. My professional background happens to be in both finance and compensation, and while I have enjoyed learning about school finance, I have enjoyed learning about curriculum, personnel, and other various aspects of how the Board of Education works during my tenure. My personal background happens to include several educators, and a love for public education runs deep in my DNA. My mom taught at Judd School for more than 20 years. My sister taught at Livingston Park for several years and is now a principal in East Brunswick's public school system. My wife has been an English teacher at South Brunswick High School for the past 11 years. My late father was a college professor at Rutgers early in his career. My wife and I attended North Brunswick Public Schools from kindergarten through 12th grade, and now our children are doing the same. I feel I should be reelected because my passion for this volunteer work is just as great today as it was when I first began. I continue to learn and collaborate with each passing year, and with every term it seems as if there is something new that we take on. Much of what we learned to do in the last 3 years, for example, revolved around the pandemic and return to school, as well as selecting a new superintendent for the first time in many years. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, Mr. Bazell, you now have 2 minutes to answer the same question. As a challenger, what experience or training and education do you have that makes you qualified to run for a position on the Board of Education?
Well, first, I must say, those that know me know I'm not typically a self-promoter. But in this situation, I must share with you, I have over 25 plus years of experience in the educational field. I began my career in Plainfield, New Jersey as a building-based sub, which turned into an assignment. I left that assignment to get an opportunity to teach at the school I went to as a child, Arbor School. I also have taught grades 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th for over 12 years. And as you may know or may not know, those grades are mandated for state assessments, which is a challenge within itself outside of the normal curriculum. My various teaching assignments were fueled by my desire to have an assignment in the high school. I began coaching with the Pop Warner football program in 1995. Then with the Plainfield varsity football and track and field program up to 2002, where I then joined the Piscataway football and track and field coaching staff up until 2016. Also, for the last 12 years, I've been a member of the executive board of the Phil Simms North-South All-Star football game. Coupled with being a parent, I have 2 amazing daughters, one who graduated from North Brunswick Township High School in 2011, and the other is currently in 4th grade. As a parent, I have gained even a deeper insight on the educational process. I believe the combination of my educational experience coupled with my parental experience will give me the insight to be successful as a member of this board. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Ms. Toth, you too will now have 2 minutes to answer this question. Again, as an incumbent, what experience or training and education do you have that makes you qualified to run for a position on the Board of Education?
Thank you for the question. So as a 4th generation resident, I've always been involved in leadership opportunities from a very young age. It also runs within my family. My grandfather was a founding member of North Brunswick's Pop Warner football program, and my dad was a volunteer firefighter at Company Number 3 in North Brunswick. So along with Rich, it runs in my DNA, runs in my blood, and I enjoy it. And I really have my family, as well as the North Brunswick school system, to thank for that. As I previously mentioned in my introduction, I interviewed for an unexpired term, I should say, in early 2020, and then served for 6 months. I then ran for my own term in 2020, at the end of 2020. I've chaired Human Resources as well as the Community Relations Committee. I've been a part of the Negotiations Committee since joining the board, and we have successfully negotiated 5 contracts with 3 different collective bargaining groups, favorable to both the Board of Education as well as each prospective group. Back in 2020, I was one of 4 board members who was selected and served on the COVID-19 Return to School Committee under the direction of our previous superintendent, Dr. Brian Zykowski. It was an honor to work with numerous administrators, councilmen and women, administrators, as well as parents to get our children safely back to school. In 2022, last year, I was one of 2 board members to serve as one of the district's strategic planning for the years of 2022 through 2025. I worked with parents, community members. It was so great to sit down with them and hear their perspectives on the school district as well. I've attended numerous county meetings as well as board member trainings and JSBA workshops throughout my time on the board. So simply put, to answer your question, my work is not done. I've worked and I've enjoyed working collectively and collaborating with my other board members throughout the last 3 years, as well as our current superintendent, Mrs. Janet Taroka. I feel my communication skills, leadership background, and my tenacious attitude make me a qualified candidate. We've accomplished so much as a board over the last couple of years to progress forward. We should celebrate our district's diversity, and we must keep building a connection between the homes of our children as well as our school district. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, Ms. James, the same question for you. You have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Ms. DePasquale. During my tenure, I've had the privilege of serving as the chair on the Human Resources, Education, and Business Operations Committee in the respective years of my term. The district has returned from the pandemic, hired a new superintendent, Ms. Janice Shiroka, prioritized social and emotional learning initiatives, developed a strategic plan, maintained good fiscal health, engaged in enriched discussions around student progress by leveraging data to better understand the trends and factors that influence educational outcomes, and successfully negotiated collective bargaining agreements while maintaining the integrity and sustainability of the entity. I have also regularly engaged in relevant professional development to enhance my effectiveness as a board member. Though these achievements are numerous, the work continues. We have set goals in the areas of student learning and success, safe and supportive schools, finance and facilities, community connections, culture, and climate, and I am eager to continue to support those initiatives. My work in education law/school law makes me uniquely suited to serve as a board member. I understand the work of curriculum, budgeting, student achievement, labor relations, and the many other areas involved in pre-K through 12 education. I believe I provide valuable insight to the many discussions and decisions that have to be made, and as an attorney, I am no stranger to difficult decisions. I am able to advocate a position, listen to opposing or challenging views, garner support or debate respectfully, and ultimately come to a decision keeping in mind the best interests of our students, staff, community, and stakeholders, while being mindful of the fiscal health of the district. I also hold a certificate of eligibility to teach English at the secondary level. I began my career in education almost 15 years ago when I began working as a dual director for a learning center. From there, I did opt to continue to my passion of the law, but I have since married my passions of law and education. While in law school, I've served in several different educational roles, and as an education law attorney, I am passionate about the work that we do. I'm passionate about education being a gatekeeper to future success, and I look forward to continuing in my tenure.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to the second question. And Ms. James, we're going to be starting with you. Same thing, give you a moment to breathe. All right. The question for everybody at home. What do you see as the top 3 education issues in North Brunswick that our board must address?
I believe that student achievement, improving a sense of community and belonging amongst our expanding population, and preparing our youth for citizenship are the top 3 issues that face North Brunswick today. As far as student achievement is the main thing and will likely always remain a priority to me as a board member. From high-quality preschool programs, which lay the foundation for later academic success, to foundational reading, writing, and math initiatives, as well as academic achievement in core subjects such as English, math, social studies, and science, we must continue to provide instruction to meet the diverse needs of our students. Coming back from the pandemic, this has been a journey for all. Our district reviews our test results, which reveals data that allows district educators to tailor instruction and interventions to better support student growth. We continue to support our teachers with ongoing professional development. Our schools are encouraging parental and community engagement. The district is integrating technology in instruction and through extracurricular activities. And beyond academic achievement, problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity is promoted through many club offerings that our district provides. As far as improving a sense of community and belonging amongst our expanding population, across the state we are seeing an increase in the immigrant, migrant, undocumented population. Our district must be prepared to meet that moment to the best of its ability, but it's also charged with creating an inclusive environment so that all students feel that they belong. And lastly, as far as preparing youth for citizenship, our students need to learn how to deal with others, develop tolerance, resolve conflicts, think critically, exercise restraint appropriately, and use discernment. This can and is being done via updates to the social studies curriculum, the development of numerous affinity groups, clubs, and the monthly summary report of disciplinary acts and the resulting interventions that are used at the schools that are reported to the board monthly. The vision as established by the State Department is that students will be civic-minded, globally aware, and socially responsible, and I do also support that initiative. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Ms. Toth, same question for you. What do you see as the top 3 education issues in North Brunswick that our board must address?
Thank you. So the first one I'd say would be the post-COVID-19 pandemic. So since our return to school post-pandemic, we as a district have made great strides in focusing on our children's mental health. But we still need to continue to focus here on students who struggle with anxiety, depression, learning loss, the ability to communicate effectively. Students' test scores have even dropped. So with the board's guidance and recommendation, we need to continue to focus here. And again, we have made great strides in this area. Second point, chronic absenteeism. Since returning to school post-pandemic, we've seen absence numbers across the state, across the county, and in North Brunswick increase drastically. We cannot have our children missing school at the rate that they are, and we must continue to support Mrs. Chirocco with one of her biggest district goals this year. We as a board recently completed a goal-setting workshop. This is also a goal that we set to support her with. The third point, maximizing our budget to evolve our programs, keep up with our buildings, as well as keeping our schools safe. So for example, we recently installed a state-of-the-art security booth at the high school. This is to ensure that all of our teachers, staff members, guests, visitors, students get into the building safely every day. We're updating our classrooms. We have just recently updated a science lab to make sure that we're keeping up with the standards that the state is setting for us when it comes to learning within the science realm, as well as updating our technology. So important that we continue to update when it has to do with security, even in not just a security booth, but just throughout the building as well. Buildings, I should say. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Mr. Brazel, same question for you, 2 minutes. What do you see as the top 3 education issues in North Brunswick that our board must address?
Thank you. The 3 issues that I have identified are closing the education gap, the negative effect of technology, and improving or enhancing the area of discipline as it relates to our students. First, closing the education gap. North Brunswick is not immune to the impact of the quarantine period we all suffered. But the reality is, prior to the quarantine period, North Brunswick had learning gaps in certain subgroups that we must identify and address. To build on this success, the board would have to collaborate on determining the most pressing issues facing our community, and then direct the resources that are available to address those problems that have the most impact for our students. Secondly, we must continue to develop strategies for helping our students deal with the issues related to technology. I am eager to work with my colleagues to do this work, to give the students the support they need in this area. With the inclusion of technology in our curriculum, even at every level, it's important that we are proactive when dealing with the unintended consequences of this curriculum. It's my belief that we must not ignore the things that are harmful to our children, especially their mental health. I believe it would be beneficial for the students if the board was proactive and devised a comprehensive plan that would address these issues in our schools. Discipline. Over the last 10 years, I've had the experience of working directly with students as it relates to discipline. And I'm eager to continue the process of researching, developing, and implementing a restorative practice model in North Brunswick. I have spoken with several employees in the township, and they are implementing these models differently in each school. I would say that the district should have a blueprint to provide for the schools so they can provide this practice. This is a very effective practice in reducing the number of incidents related to discipline. Diversity benefits our students. It's been proven that if a student has one minority teacher, they're less likely to have discipline issues and do better academically. I believe we connect with them, we challenge them, we can change them. Not just change, but transformation, which is real change. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Mr. Liguori, same thing, 2 minutes. What do you see as the top 3 educational issues in North Brunswick that our board must address?
I believe that these top 3 issues are all interwoven. First, in the spirit of student achievement, is continued robust and rigorous course offerings for all levels of learners. We have spoken for years about the achievement gap, and we need to continue to ensure equitable offerings that push our students, because whether they are a B or C student, or taking multiple AP classes, or struggling mightily, they all deserve the same opportunity to learn, succeed, be challenged, and graduate from our school district. We have some great programs that can continue to grow, such as the dual language program at our elementary schools, our wonderful band, chorus, and orchestra programs at all our schools, our academies of academic focus at NBTEA, and we can add to the breadth of our electives at our middle school and our high school. We have a very diverse student population, and we must continue to strive to ensure that there is something for everyone. Second, it's making sure that our curriculum and our content and our technology is all timely and timeless so that we are preparing our students for the future. And third is pushing Trenton to ensure that we have the ongoing funding year after year to do what we need to do. For years, despite our arguments, the state's funding formula somehow repeatedly underfunded our town. And over the past few years, we have slowly been catching up. But we must continue to push our legislators for a more fair funding formula that follows the child. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to our next question, number 3. And Ms. Toth, we'll be starting with you. So here's our question. And again, you have 2 minutes to respond. How do you propose attracting and keeping excellent school employees in the North Brunswick schools?
Thank you. So when I think back to our district's retirees over the last 3 years, on my time on the board, we've had employees give our district 15, 20, 25, 30 plus years of service. And those are some incredible numbers to reflect upon. So first, I'd say career advancement opportunities within the district. For example, teachers that I had are now administrators. Administrators that I had are now principals. Even secretaries that were at different elementary schools are now in central office. Negotiating competitive salaries to our employees, we also must promote great culture, morale, and respect for one another. We also must provide our employees encouragement and positive feedback. But on the flip side, we also must provide constructive feedback for our employees to better themselves within their roles. It's imperative that administration, teachers, staff, and support staff have open communication and work together. At the end of the day, we all have one common goal, and that's the success and safety of our students. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Liguori, we're going to pass the same question to you, and again for 2 minutes. How do you propose attracting and keeping excellent school employees in North Brunswick schools?
Thank you. There are several ways that we as board members can work to attract and keep excellent school employees in our wonderful school district. First, we need to continue working with our superintendent and her administrative team to negotiate fair and competitive wages and benefits with our various unions, ones that are attractive to new and existing employees, yet don't place an undue burden on our taxpayers and still allow for flexibility in our budgeting. We need to ensure safe schools. By safe, I first mean from a security point of view with both technology and staffing, and also from an environmental and HVAC angle as well. Both of these areas have been timely areas of focus and will continue to be in the near term. For example, we recently applied for and were approved for state grants related to HVAC funding across all of our buildings. Next, we need to continue to deliver ongoing professional development, and we need to stress an ongoing focus on social emotional learning that focuses on our staff as well as our students. And finally, we need to maintain open and honest communication with parents and make sure that our staff is ingrained in the fabric of our wonderfully diverse community. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Ms. James, same deal, you got 2 minutes. How do you propose attracting and keeping excellent school employees here in the North Brunswick schools?
Sure, thank you. As a board member, we collectively hire only one employee, and that is the superintendent of schools. However, the district has established a goal to develop and implement a recruitment plan for diversification of staff and to expand hiring opportunities for staff with a focus on identifying those staff in hard-to-fill positions. In addition to this initiative to increase and promote diversity amongst our teaching staff, I believe that to attract and keep excellent staff, they must feel recognized and appreciated, fairly compensated, with opportunities for growth, whether that's professional development or career advancement. Our staff should feel comfortable to engage in open dialogue amongst each other and with their leadership. I believe a reputation for success would also serve to attract and retain school employees. A district that works collectively and collaboratively to fulfill the broad mission of ensuring that all students are provided a thorough and efficient education with a focus on the whole school, whole child, and whole community, and employees who wish to contribute to that vision is a mutually beneficial partnership. And employees who are invested in the lives of these students and are happy to do so because they are respected, acknowledged, and supported can be a formula for success. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Brazel, for you, 2 minutes to answer this critical question. How do you propose attracting and keeping excellent school employees in North Brunswick schools?
Well, thank you. First, we must have competitive pay and compensation. My experience tells me that the best way to promote your brand is word of mouth. Creating an atmosphere where the employees feel heard and they have a stake in the educational process is crucial. And unfortunately, a lot of times, the good teachers, they get rewarded with more work, and that's not a way to retain employees. I would investigate the current practice that the district engages with attracting their high-quality employees. I would also explore the benefit of providing newly hired faculty and staff with signing bonuses to attract the high-quality employees as well. In addition, I would also look into the idea of a referral for the current employees who refer an individual to the district who's eventually hired. This is the best way to recruit employees because the employees that are here are going to do the recruiting for us. The critical component of employee retention is providing support. This could be in a formal mentoring program that's operated by the district, or a new employee, new teacher group that is operated by the school by a trusted faculty member. This is an issue that's impacting every school across the nation. I think North Brunswick should be proactive in their approach and try different and new techniques to acquire new talent. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, folks, we're going to move on to our fourth question for the evening, and we will be starting with Ms. James on this one. So, Ms. James, again, 2 minutes. Do you believe parents and teachers should play an important role in decisions regarding curriculum development and implementation? Please explain.
I believe that parents have a right to be involved and informed about the educational process. They are to be empowered with the information regarding their child's education. However, the state develops a statewide curriculum to which we as a local school district design and develop and deliver local curricula that is aligned to the New Jersey state learning standards with the critical input of our teachers. That is the important work of Dr. Johnson and his team. And of course, our teachers have a unique and valued perspective as it relates to developing the targeted objectives, instructional strategies, and more. Having served as the chair of the Education Committee last year, I am aware that there is much thought and intention put into designing developmentally appropriate curricula for all of our students. And in the event that a parent wishes for a child to be excused from a portion of a course due to a conflict with conscious or sincerely held moral or religious beliefs, there is a process for that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Bazell, same thing, we're going to give you 2 minutes. Do you believe that parents and teachers should play an important role in the decisions regarding curriculum development and implementation? Please explain.
Thank you, and yes, parents and teachers working together are critical to the education of our children. Teachers often apply learning theories to develop their lesson plans and activities. This approach affords the students the greatest opportunity to be exposed to the various teaching theories and techniques available. Understanding how people learn is critical in optimizing the learning process. Input from parents should be encouraged throughout. Parental involvement is an essential component of the educational process. The engagement of the parent has direct impact on the academic success of the student. Students whose parents stay involved in school have better attendance, better behavior, they get better grades, and they demonstrate better social skills as well. Parental involvement also sets these students up to develop a lifelong love of learning. Although the board does not have a direct impact on these standards, they are very important to take input from the parents and have the ability to respond to their needs. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Toth, same question, same deal, 2 minutes. Do you believe that parents and teachers should play an important role in the decisions regarding curriculum development and the implementation? Please explain.
Thank you. When thinking of curriculum development and implementation, I believe it should start with the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Fred Johnson, who has done a phenomenal job since taking over the department. Following his guidance, we have the supervisors. Their role is to present new ideas in the curriculum and development to the teachers. The teachers then work together to implement lessons that meet the state course curriculum standards. I believe it's the parents' role to support the teachers' lessons. Parents should be well informed of the curriculum and reinforce learning that is being taught in their children's classroom. Our schools encourage parents to attend various school functions to be in the know about what is happening in their children's classrooms. We send out countless surveys, have parent academies, and welcome our district's parents inside of our schools to be a part of our strategic planning as well. Again, I served on the strategic planning committee last year, and it was so great to sit down with parents and community members to hear their perspective, to see what was important to them. to see how they could collaborate with people within our schools. So I do believe that it is very important for parents to be in the know about what is happening in their children's classrooms.
Okay, thank you. And last, Mr. Liguori, your chance to respond to this question, and again, 2 minutes. Do you believe that parents and teachers should play an important role in decisions regarding curriculum development and implementation?
I believe that there needs to be an ongoing conversation with all stakeholders about all facets of our township's educational system, with curriculum being one such area. Our various areas of curriculum are updated frequently to ensure our students are getting the most modern textbooks, teaching mechanisms, and accompanying technology. We rely on the professionalism and experience of our teachers to write and update curriculum throughout the year and often during our summer months to prepare for the new school year, keeping in mind the various needs of their students while differentiating for multiple learning styles. They are the frontline observers, witnessing the strengths, weaknesses, and passions of our learners. In our schools, our teachers and administration collaborate with parents in order to foster a strong and healthy community. This synergy creates a more dynamic and comprehensive learning environment. Our parents are willing partners in the process, and we have enjoyed witnessing the partnership as board members. Because when parents, teachers, administrators, and community members all feel a sense of ownership and accountability, the success of the school district is truly collaborative. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, folks, we're going to move on to our 5th question. And Mr. Bazell, we'll be starting with you, and I think we all know the deal. You'll have 2 minutes to respond. What is your understanding of the role of the educational support professionals, also known as the ESPs, in our school community?
Well, the support staff are critical to creating a healthy educational environment. These staff members often engage with the students who require the most attention during the school day. They often are in the least structured environments, for example, on the bus, the lunchroom, and the hallways. I believe that they have to be included as part of the educational team, but required to bring the same level of professionalism, enthusiasm, and passion as we expect the teachers and administrators to bring on a daily basis. From a personal perspective, I've had the opportunity to work with several individuals in this title, and what I've learned is that they don't often support 1 or 2 students, they support the whole school. So they are very important to the success of our children. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. James, you now have 2 minutes to respond to this question. What is your understanding of the role of educational support professionals in our school community?
Thank you, Ms. Pasquale. Our educational support professionals are our bus drivers, bus aides, food service workers, clerical service workers, security workers, custodial and maintenance services, and our health and student service workers. Having done a significant portion of my work in the area of special education, I am keenly aware of the value that our educational support professionals play. These individuals help to fulfill the mission of delivering a thorough and efficient education to our students. They establish rapport and lasting relationships with our students. They ensure the health and safety of staff and students. They support in administrative tasks that our teachers and administrators can focus their attention to other concerns and responsibilities, and often assist in serving our most vulnerable populations. I understand that they are a critical part of the workforce in ensuring that students and the district succeed, and I fully support them. Thank you.
Mr. Liguori, now it's your turn. Same deal, 2 minutes. What is your understanding of the role of educational support professionals in our school community?
Thank you. All employees of the school district, including ESPs, work for the betterment of the children. All play a vital role in our educational process in North Brunswick Township schools. From the bus drivers and aides who transport our children, sometimes the first and last faces of each school day, to the custodians who provide a clean school environment, creating atmospheres conducive to learning, to the security teams protecting our buildings, being vigilant and patrolling for possible threats, to the paraprofessionals and aides helping those most in need, ensuring that nobody is left behind, to the nurses who skillfully guided us through the pandemic, and to all the clerks, secretaries, techs, and aides providing critical daily services. All work in conjunction with our classroom teachers and our administrators, playing pivotal roles in helping our students thrive and succeed. Thank you.
Okay. Lastly, Ms. Toth, your response to this question. What is your understanding of the role of educational support professionals in our school community?
Thank you. My mother taught language arts for 37 years in a neighboring district. For many years, she was the general education teacher with educational support professionals in her classroom. My understanding is their role is to provide additional understanding of lessons taught so children could succeed in a mainstream classroom. When a class size has 20, 25, 30 students, ESPs are crucial to the learning experience. Children learn differently. For example, there are visual learners. I personally am a visual learner. Kinesthetic learners, as well as auditory learners. These ESPs provide materials to help students comprehend concepts in the child's own learning style. ESPs are so important to have in our district, especially at the elementary and middle school level. Outside of the classroom, we cannot forget about our bus drivers, computer technicians, custodians, secretaries, security personnel, as well as bus aides, who are a vital part of our school community impacting our children every day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to our last and final question of the evening. And Mr. Liguori, we're going to be starting with you for this one. If reelected, what would your priorities be as you develop a school district budget?
Thank you. Any priorities in developing a school district budget would be in conjunction with the superintendent, business administrator, and their teams. Developing the school district's budget is a months-long, bottoms-up process that begins at each school building with each principal and feeds into central office before being reviewed by our board committees. The end result needs to yield a robust budget that provides for all areas required to help our students succeed while being mindful of the taxpayer at the same time. To do so, all involved need to maintain a need-to-have versus a want-to-have mindset. We are capped at a 2% annual increase maximum, so certain priorities often need to wait until the following year, while others are more urgent and simply cannot wait. Salaries and benefits tend to be approximately 3/4 of the budget and are contractual. The other 20 to 25% needs to literally include everything else, including areas such as curriculum, technology, security, and maintenance. As previously touched upon, we need to continue to hold Trenton accountable for fair funding from year to year. And in addition, it should be pointed out that we enjoy a long-standing and productive set of shared services agreements with our mayor and council where possible, and we look forward to continuing to look for avenues where such relationships can be productive in our budgeting practices. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Toth, if you are reelected, what will your priorities be to develop a school district budget?
Thank you. When reelected, the district should continue to focus on, first, upgrades to our facilities, which we currently are. Being a part of the Business Operations Committee, I have a bird's eye view into upgrades going on with our HVAC systems, boilers, technology, classrooms, in order to keep our students and faculty learning and working in a comfortable and safe environment. Staffing. I have a background in staffing, as I mentioned previously, within my professional career. It's so important to focus on finding the best possible talent to assist our students in their public education journey. Last, upgrading and evolving our programs. I'm so passionate about our students receiving a full education at their specific learning style and level. We must keep our students engaged. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bazell, if elected, what would your priorities be as you develop a school district budget?
Well, thank you. I have to admit, this topic is very important to me as a homeowner in the town. I'm sure there's a few others out there that have the same feeling about this topic. Actually, this issue is important to our community as a whole. Even the members who don't currently have children attending school, it's important that you have a well-run school district. It's been proven that a well-run school district benefits the entire community in a variety of ways. My initial goal will be to carefully analyze the district expenses and costs with my colleagues to ensure that we are good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. We all are aware that there are fixed costs associated with every budget, along with the limitation of how we raise our resources utilizing the property taxes. These are challenges that will require continued collaboration among all the stakeholders. But I do believe we must continue to provide our students with the opportunities to realize their potential and instill the desire to be lifelong learners. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, Ms. James, if reelected, what will your priorities be to develop a school district budget?
Thank you. In developing the school budget, it is critically important to make sure that we avail ourselves of all possible resources, such as grants, and making sure that the school funding formula is sufficient for us, but also ensuring that all eligible students fill out the free and reduced lunch applications to ensure that they are properly accounted for in the submission. If we're able to accurately assess the need for federal reimbursements and subsidies, we can plan better to avoid unforeseen fiscal imbalances. Additionally, in budget planning, I will aim to ensure that our funds align with our priorities, as earlier stated. We need to fill staff vacancies, target foundational reading, writing, math, target advanced students, K through 12, and address opportunities for career pathways for high school students. We have to fund our school safety initiatives and continue to be the community hub that North Brunswick Township Schools has been, with extracurricular activities, sports, and well-maintained fan facilities, which requires more detailed long-range facility plannings and capital project planning. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, folks, we're now moving to our closing statement portion of the evening. Each candidate will have 1 minute to give a response. Ms. Toth, we'll be starting with you, and again, 1 minute.
Thank you. First, I'd like to thank the North Brunswick Township Education Association for hosting this event. I'd also like to thank the community members who are here in attendance tonight, as well as the ones watching from home. So back at our reorganization meeting at the beginning of this year, when I was elected by our board as current vice president, I said that this was one of the best decisions that I ever made, and that still stands true. This is a great district, and I'd love to continue to serve. Over the last 3 years of serving on the board, I've developed such a strong passion for serving this educational community, and I'd like to continue to lead. I'd like the opportunity to keep supporting our amazing schools. It's truly been an honor. I joined the school board at a very crucial time in our society, and we've made great strides in getting our children back into the classrooms, and we must keep them there. My work is far from being done, and I have much more to give. I ask that you support my candidacy when voting, either in person or before by mail on Tuesday, November 7th. And I just thank you again for this opportunity to get to know me tonight.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Liguori, your closing statement.
Thank you, and I'd again like to thank the members of the NBTEA, Ms. Pasner, Ms. Herrick, Ms. DePasquale for hosting for tonight's event, and I would like to thank my fellow candidates for joining me and helping the voting public understand who we are. When Monique and I got married 25 years ago and bought our first house, North Brunswick was the only town where we wanted to live and eventually raise our family. Our school system continues to be the hallmark of our town. Serving my hometown as a member of the Board of Education has been the most humbling opportunity of my life, one which I never take for granted. I have a unique vantage point as a taxpayer, a lifelong resident, an alumni, and a parent of 3 children, either currently in the schools or who have recently graduated. I know firsthand the importance of a thriving school system on the real estate values in our town. I have come to see, know, and appreciate the hardworking individuals that work for our school district, as well as the equity, excellence, and empathy that we talk about every day in the district's focus on the whole school, whole community, whole child model. This has never been selfishly about me or my children. This is about giving back and giving a voice to the 6,000 children in our wonderful schools and the over 1,000 staff members that support them every day. I have enjoyed rolling up my sleeves and working collaboratively with our new superintendent and my fellow board members. I feel I have much more to offer as an elected board member, and there is always seemingly much more to learn. So please vote on or before November 7th. If by mail, you may need to flip the ballot over to find us. If in person, we're nonpartisan, so we're located in the corner of your voting tablet. Thank you very much for your interest and for your consideration.
Okay, thank you. Ms. James.
Thank you. So I have been living in North Brunswick since 2001. I'm a proud resident of the township, and I've been honored to serve. I graduated from North Brunswick High School, and it became clear to me that becoming a public servant was a requirement once I became intimately involved in my career as an education law and school law attorney. I realized I had a unique perspective that was required to be shared. It was basically a gift, a skill that I had and an ability that I had that I felt that I needed to share with my community, which is why I decided to run for the Board of Education back in 2020. It has been truly an honor, a pleasure to do the work that we do. I am truly proud of our district. I'm proud of the work that our new superintendent and former superintendent has done under their leadership with their teams, and I am committed to continuing that work in the next term. I am seeking re-election to continue that work that we started 3 years ago, and in the next term, I'm eager to bear witness to the fruits of the board and the district's efforts. I'm eager to continue to support initiatives that will promote promising educational outcomes for our students. Finally, I look forward to witnessing the enrichment within our schools and community as a testament to the power of quality education and dedicated community involvement. Together, we can shape bright futures together, and I look forward to your consideration of my candidacy for re-election on November 7th. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Last but not least, Mr. Pizzell.
Thank you. My goal tonight was to give you a snapshot of who I am as an individual. First, I would like to say thank you to my family for the continued support, but to all my former students and student athletes, we often talked about finding your edge. You know, the place where you're a little uncomfortable, but you tend to grow? Well, I found my edge. And I must say, along this journey, I would say I'm very proud of you because you've taught me more than you ever realized. Being in this situation has taught me more about myself, and watching my wife work through the PTO during my daughter's education in North Brunswick has given me a view like no one else. I have seen the work that is being done in our community for the kids. Thank you for giving to others as well as the family. I appreciate that. But in closing, my wife and I moved back to North Brunswick for a reason. We chose to be a part of this community. I'm a passionate person that is willing to do the work it takes to achieve a common goal. My family chose North Brunswick. Now I'm asking you to choose to vote for me. On November 7th, or as my future colleague said, by mail. But remember, please vote for Jonathan Pizzell in column 4. You have 3 votes you can cast, but please hold on one more vote till you get to column 4. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. And thank you all of you for being here tonight. We wish you best of luck on November 7th. And thank you for all of you at home for watching and for those present. And once again, to close out our evening, Beth Pasner.
Once again, thank you to all our candidates for participating in tonight's event. We appreciate your time and your dedication to the citizens of North Brunswick Township. I'd also like to thank our moderator, Elisa DePasquale. Thank you very much. Congrats on a job well done. Lastly, I would like to thank those of you who watched our event tonight. We hope that it helps you make a well-informed decision, and don't forget to vote on November 7th. Thank you. If anyone wants to, talk to anyone before you leave, or otherwise you're free to go. Thank you.